world gone insane. An upside-down civilization that cannot be real. A world of madness and terror.
It's the Dana Gould Hour.
And here you thought it wouldn't happen, but danged if we didn't pull it off. It's episode 9 of the Dana Gould Hour podcast, Mini Kiss and Other Delights. Recorded in fits and starts over a 5-week period amidst the Gould family's summer travels. This puppy was recorded partly at our home base at Casa Cornelia Studios in beautiful Studio City, California. Also recorded partly in our Fortress of Solitude, deep in the wilds of Ventura County, California, and also partly in the mountain wilderness of Emigrant, Montana. Spanning the countryside, my friends, to get you another heaping hilarious helping. Joining us today, already Pepitone. Look for his excellent new documentary, The Bitter Buddha. For details, you can follow him on the Twitter, at Eddie Pepitone. Same goes for the very funny Steve Agee, who I've been wanting to get on the show for a long time. Finally got him, he of the just-released box set of the Sarah Silverman program, and so much more. At Steve Agee, Steve Agee on the Twitter. G.C. Wright is here. He's a big shot Hollywood casting agent, and you can see him if you're an actor and you have an appointment. Comedian Matt Weinhold is a comedian whose comedy comedianing can be read at comedyfilmnerds.com. And last but not least, the role of intern Dave is played by Dave Lukashak. Dave is also one of the good folks behind Iron Smile, the world's first and best upbeat death metal band, and you'll be hearing a lot about them today. Me? August 9th, 2012 will have me hosting the 10th anniversary of Lucha Vavoom with my good friend Blaine Capatch, right here in Los Angeles. I think Tom Kenny will be there as well, our show announcer. Tickets for Lucha Vavoom are available at luchavavoom.com, spelled like it sounds. And in September, I'm back on the road, and those dates are up on danagould.com, where you will find our Amazon banner right under the podcast window on the main page. We'll be talking about all sorts of things today, a band here, a movie there, maybe even a book, a real book, a chapter book, not just a picture book. Say you want to avail yourself of one of these items. Go to danagould.com, click on our Amazon banner, and buy thusly. You get what you want, and at no extra charge, we get a little something to help us pay the bills. The bills for what, you ask? Why, the bills for this. Now, everybody asked me if I was going to go to Comic-Con this year, and I said no. I hate Comic-Con. Wow.
Yeah.
Because I used to love it.
Uh-huh.
And now, as Eddie Gorodetsky says, Comic-Con is a great place to go to see the people who used to beat you up for going to Comic-Con.
That's true.
It's just been taken over by all the business jerks.
Yeah.
And the comics are actually in a different building now. Mm-hmm. I can't get to the comic books because I have to stand behind the Glee panel. There was a panel for Glee at Comic-Con. Now, I have nothing against Glee.
Shouldn't they be at
but
the
it shouldn't be
Sci-Fi
at
and
Comic-Con.
Horror
Have you read the Glee comics? Well, then, maybe you shouldn't judge. The Alan Moore ones are the best.
I like the one where they meet Scrooge McDuck.
But
that was my fan fiction.
Nothing will make you hate something more than when they fuck with something you love.
No.
Otherwise, I don't hate. I'm just, whatever. Like, I don't even get angry at the news, like the political news. I know people that get so livid about what John Boehner said, and they tweet it out. That, to me, is just professional wrestling with ties.
Yeah, that's exactly
right.
What it is.
Yeah.
It's a
They
show.
don't- it's just a show. I'm not going to get upset about it.
Yeah.
Right. I love a show.
Sure, I enjoy a show.
Right.
But so I won't get mad at that. I just, that's their job. But then I will go to see, let me just pull something out of thin air, Tim Burton's Dark Shadows.
Yeah.
And I will just want to strangle a cop.
Yeah. And you could re-edit this to say, let me pull something out of thin air, Tim Burton's, and then you could just
drop in movies.
Drop in movie titles. And we could have this conversation over and over.
Don't get me
again.
started on Spider-Man.
But because I used to love him, to see him, and there's no other excuse than you just don't give a shit.
No.
There's no other excuse than he always is like, we're going for a specific tone. No, that's you didn't read the script until you got to the set. That's what happens.
Yeah, you'd have an easier time if you actually directed a movie like Ed Wood.
Yeah, I know.
You just got the first take and then moved on.
Well, I couldn't love the movie Ed Wood more. It's absolutely in my top
No, it's perfect.
3.
Yeah, I love it.
And I love the idea of so many of his other movies. Like I loved Beetlejuice and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I loved Frankenweenie the short, and I loved the short Vincent, and I love
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, and now just to see him, I don't.
Okay, all right.
And then again, oddly enough, the movie I love more than any other, Planet of the Apes.
Right.
1968.
Yes.
The movie I hate more than any other, Planet of the Apes, directed by Tim Burton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is just...
Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes makes the Planet of the Apes TV series from the 1970s look like sacred text.
Those emotions are so tied together. It's like the things that I will hate are always related to something I deeply love.
But I would argue against, and this is my thing about Comic-Con, because I love Comic-Con. I love it every time.
I know you do. You're a better man than I am.
Well, the thing is that I look at Comic-Con the way I do Hollywood or L.A., which is, people always say about L.A. that everyone's so phony and horrible, and there's, and yes, there is that. There is that element to L.A., but don't hang with those people. Right. Hang with the cool people. I've met great people here, and I hang with them, and I stay away from the Sky Bar. And
of course you do. Of course you do.
That's what Comic-Con is.
That has a lot more to do with the fact that you're too cheap to park in West Hollywood.
The other thing about Comic-Con is I really feel that I should be chewing on some Soylent Green when I'm down there because of just the crush of humanity.
Well, that I can understand. It is a wave of people, and if you have any sort of problem with crowds or claustrophobia, you might have a problem.
Yeah.
But
you can save a lot of time by just getting stuck in a crowded elevator with a bag of stuff you're never going to read.
Have you ever tried to use the men's room at Comic-Con? It's just a line out the door, and when you finally get in there, you see that all the urinals are free. They're just all waiting for the stalls.
Try working the men's room at Comic-Con.
I'm just kidding. I've never been to Comic-Con, but I imagine...
You've never been to Comic-Con?
No, but I imagine that the men's room is like that. No, I've never been.
I did when I was on a panel at Comic-Con years ago, and we had a hotel room, and I was in whatever the main hotel is, and I was walking down the corridor and saw just the most disenchanted hooker leaving a room. And then sometimes there's just like a lime green lycra dress at 2:30, holding a good 45 extra pounds.
Yeah.
And just... as opposed to the way hookers normally look when they leave a hotel room. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay.
Wiping off her green She-Hulk makeup.
Exactly.
I hope he calls me back.
I'm going to go home and get on the internet and find out what the Federation is, because he seems to be placed very highly in it. I have terrible news.
Yeah, you don't want to go back to him again, because Hulk smash. I tell you.
The question is, why Hulk smash? That's my impression of the Hulk psychiatrist. But I would love to go, like I used to say all the time, you go to Comic-Con and you get to see your favorite characters from fiction walking around. Like, I love the costumes. That's my favorite part. And I love to see the people just like, you have been waiting all year for this, and you are in your glory, and go. Yeah. Like, I never made fun of those people, ever. Even some of when I would see people dressed up as my favorite characters, like morbidly obese C-3PO.
Right, yeah.
Sad lesbian Klingon. Yeah.
But this is their time.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah. And then occasionally, it started around in the early aughts, as I like to call them. And then you just see a stunning woman in like a Catwoman outfit, or just a jaw-dropping woman in a Silk Spectre costume. Mm-hmm. And for a while, it really messed with me because I thought, wait, stop. Where are the super hot nerd chicks?
Right.
I've never seen them ever. It changed the way I lived. Like, I would go into Golden Apple Comics from the back door. Maybe they're parking out back. Maybe they just have a different nerd route that I don't know about. And I would never, ever, like, I'm so weird with women. Like, I couldn't go up to a gorgeous woman and tell her the building was on fire. Look, Don't take this the wrong way.
Don't scream.
I don't mean to be weird. I'm not trying to be creepy, but the building is on fire and we got to hit. Oh, good. Now the building's on fire and I'm talking to a rapist. No.
I couldn't help noticing you don't like fire.
Is that what you think? The building's on fire and you're going to score with me? No. Wait till my boyfriend Seth calls you up when he's done with his job as the world's most handsome drummer. And so then I'm at Comic-Con. I had my daughter with me. I had my oldest daughter when she was about 8. And we're in line to get something to eat. And, I got my daughter with me and my wedding band. I'm pretty chick-proof at this point. I'm not making a move on anybody. And Silk Spectre was behind me. Just this knockout. Turn around, prominently featuring my daughter. And I go, can I ask you a question? Now, are you a big Alan Moore fan? Do you love The Watchmen? How did you make this costume? And she just went, no, I'm a model. They just pay us to walk around in these costumes. We showed up this morning.
Right, yeah.
They gave us these and it was like, of course! All these years! Why? And it was like Charlton Heston at the end of Soylent Green. The hot nerd chicks are alive! Well, don't do it. Don't not date someone you think you like because you might have a chance with the super hot chick in the Catwoman suit. She's not real. She's from Barbizon. She doesn't know what she's wearing.
Comic-Con has ringers.
Well, it's a Comic-Con. It's a Comic convention. Every convention you go to, they hire models to stand around booths to attract your attention.
Right.
Con is also short for confidence game, where hot women sucker you in and take your money. So I don't understand what the big mystery is.
But I would also argue, devil's advocate here, because I walk around and I see what I'm sure are the regular people that aren't models. They're just attractive, normal-looking girls dressed up in costumes. Yeah. And I didn't even have them growing up.
Sure,
that's my thing, is that I think right now nerd culture is way more popular than it was when we were growing up. And a lot of little small towns, there are these people that are just ready to dress up in those costumes and get to Comic-Con, and mix that with the whole new era of sexual experimentation that wasn't also going on when I was growing up. And
Actually,
I was born in the wrong time, is what I'm saying.
Can I say one thing? You grew up in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
As did I. The era of sexual experimentation was in full swing when we were growing up. It's actually abated now.
Well, not
before AIDS. It
right.
was crazy.
Well, right, because we're all about the same age.
You're much older.
Well, that's true.
People can't see you. You look
true.
like you have signed Will Geer's autograph.
Thank
People
you.
keep running up to you and asking you for the real original recipe.
Yes, that is true. I do look a lot like Colonel Sanders.
No, we're all
in his prime, though.
Especially with my clothes on.
We're all in our 40s.
So I become, I'm of the age where I am now a sexually active teen. One day, and the very next day, the headline is AIDS.
Well, that's it.
Yes,
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Every time I had sex with anybody, it was, I'm dead.
I'm gonna die. Seriously, you're a great waitress.
But
Could you leave now? Because I got to get tested.
But nerd culture isn't the same as it was, because comic books and those things that may have been more of a nerd culture thing are a very mainstream thing now.
Right.
So it's not even that more people are interested in nerd culture. It's that a lot of the things that were nerd culture to us growing up are mainstream things. Now, it's just like you can have school teachers who dress like punk rockers now, and when we were kids, only one or two of the
they were beaten within an inch of their life.
Heroin-addicted homeless kids at your school dressed as punk rockers.
Well, let's ask intern Dave Lukashak. Dave, you're in college still. You're just a callow youth. Are the nerds ostracized the way they used to be, or do they now run the show?
I think the big turning point was the Spider-Man movie. That was like the biggest blockbuster of the year. Everyone saw it, and that was sort of like the introductory to nerd culture, just totally going mainstream for my generation at least.
And I think that is all you can mark that as when Comic-Con turned into Vegas.
Mm-hmm. A full-on just trade show.
Yeah, it is just a trade show.
That's the same year I went on cholesterol-lowering medication. True story.
Matt, what is something you love and something you hate?
Just in general?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Something that I love. I love Doctor Who.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I was thinking along the lines of God or children, but no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Your wife.
Well, we're on.
I was talking about this last night, that hate has its own momentum. Like when I start hating, I'll just be like, this traffic. This traffic fucking sucks. I'll be in the traffic. And then I'll catch my eye in the mirror and I'll be like, God damn it, why do I have this thing on the left side of my head?
I was wondering that.
Where did that come from? Why am I aging? And it just...
And then you start, what'll probably happen? I'll grow an eye on my chin. That'll be great. And then I'll have to keep it closed when I shave. God damn it. Yeah, I'll just lose it.
I never have as much hatred as I do when I'm in my car. That is always the worst place.
Here in L.A. anyway. I mean, woof.
But here's the thing. There was an article in Newsweek, which is now up to 11 pages.
Ooh.
That the way that we get information now has changed our brains. Like, when you check your email, you get like a little dopamine rush. Like a little,
okay.
Like a thrill.
Oh.
Yes, Twitter, Facebook, email,
and
especially for us comedians.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, and now their brains are just addicted to constantly getting like a joy pellet every 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So does this make us less able to deal with life's shittiness?
Well, what it does is it's altering the fundamental chemical consistency of your brain. It's altering your brain chemistry by constantly pumping in this excretion. And I think that it goes to the fact that like human beings are not evolving as fast as our world and our science.
Yeah.
So that we are struggling to keep up, and human beings aren't cut out for 24 hours of news.
Yes.
We can't
You need a
handle-
break. Yeah.
We're not supposed to have that constant input. And just things like traffic, it's an unusual circumstance for us. We're not built for being in that thing all the day. And I just think that
And we're completely capable of it with the smartphone.
right, yeah, we have everything we need. It's sort of like sometimes I look at all the technology we have and the maturity with which we bring to it, and it's sort of like giving a flamethrower to a chimp.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just see what happens. Give the chimp the flamethrower and let him hang out in the daycare.
I can't go to a movie anymore. When I go to a movie, I already know I'm going to be annoyed because no matter how many times, like if you go to the ArcLight and they have the person intro the film and also say, now at this time, please turn off your phones.
Right.
Don't look at the phones during the movie.
Right.
And then during the previews, they have the sign, that they do that little skit of the woman singing and then the phone going off. Like, no matter how much they embed with you, like, put your fucking phone away. You can be guaranteed some motherfucker at one point in the movie is just going to pick up their phone and look at it. And it always fucking pisses me off.
I was at a show on stage, and the people were being disruptive because I can still see them. The women were drunk, and they were sitting on the laps of the guys, and they were taking flash photos of themselves.
I've had shows
This
like
was
that.
in Seattle, and I snapped, and I went on one of those sort of like meta
You did?
criticisms, like, what in your life is worth visually recording? Look at you. And,
That sounds like
you went
me.
to a community college. You're dissatisfied. You're out and you're drunk, and it's just a
I'm
drug.
angry
It's like
just hearing this story.
It's like Novocaine, just trying to dull the
Let
pain.
me ask you this, because that sounds great to me. Did you get big laughs from the other people there?
Yes, they were.
Yes,
they were.
good.
They were ruining the show for people. And I'll hate it too when I go to the movies because maybe this is just me being old. Like, does every trailer have to be so invasive? It's like somebody throwing up into your eye.
I agree.
It's like somebody said this, and I don't know who it was. It wasn't me, and I think it was Sarah Silverman. I'm not sure. They once used the expression "raped in the face," and I don't know who
By
said it.
trailers?
That's probably
Well, they
Sarah.
were referring to something, but to me, like, watching the Transformers trailer was like getting raped in the face. It was like I had to recover. I had like talk to people afterwards. It was just
By the way, one thing when I watch these trailers of the movies, the machismo. It's machismo on steroids.
Yeah.
All of those freaking movies, and I'm like, I just want to watch, a story about a fishing village where a fella falls in love.
Bill Nighy is a retired insurance adjuster.
Yes. Judi Dench is going blind, and she's back.
In a world where emotions slowly change over time with the gradual accumulation of knowledge and experience. What the hell is this movie?
But I think that's to your point of like the technology being overwhelming. It's just
and it just you can choose.
How do we step out of it?
We don't. We can't get out of it.
And especially
it's
us,
just going to get worse.
because we have to. Because
Use
we're
it.
also promoting ours. It's a tool. It's a professional tool. So I'm always like, I wake up, I'm behind.
Yes.
People are winning.
Yeah, I was talking to Paul Provenza about that. It's 24/7 if
Yes.
you want it to be with the
Yeah.
freaking.
My wife was like, I was in a foul mood. I was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I cannot in any way compare my Tumblr to Paul F. Tompkins. Paul F. Tompkins' Tumblr is so much better than mine.
It is a good Tumblr. I used to be the guy that was so tech savvy, could fix anyone's computer problems, and now I'm my father. I'm like, why won't my email password? All I did was sign in, open up my email program, and it won't get my email. It says your password's wrong.
But we used to work the earth. We used to. I'm serious. I think it's mental illness. We used to work the earth, and granted, I don't want to work the earth because it seems like a lot of work.
That's the problem with work.
But we need visceral stuff. This is not real, this computer stuff.
But we made this stuff so we wouldn't have to work the earth.
But here's the thing. We made these things to help us. Supposedly you get more done in less time. But what do you do with that extra time? You just do more. You don't use it for...
it creates more stuff to do.
Right.
And it's a big
Relaxation.
conversation, and part of the conversation is intelligent, and part of it is like, suck my dick, Gould.
Yeah.
Like you get a lot of that, too.
Yeah,
Not
like-
just you.
Here's
me,
something,
too.
you just put out on the internet. Here's something I like.
Yes.
Fuck you. Tweet something mildly political at half the country. Because Democrats love to kill babies. Well, I made a comment about the weather.
Welcome to Political Talk with two guys from Boston. A working man's look at the socio-political issues of our day. And now, Political Talk with two guys from Boston.
Welcome to Political Talk with two guys from Boston. I'm Johnny Condon.
Yeah, I'm Robbie Sullivan.
A lot of the news, you get troubles in the Mideast, you get troubles in the United States with the election. It's all about tolerance.
Yeah,
It all comes down to tolerance.
it really does.
And we live in a city, Boston, Massachusetts, that is one of the most tolerant cities in the country.
Yeah.
Whether you are white and Irish or Irish and white.
Hopefully you are.
Yeah. We got no problem.
No.
Outside of that, we get into a thicket.
Well, there's issues.
Everybody has issues. Now, do you have other religious beliefs that stray outside of your Catholic faith?
I really don't. My religious beliefs are really anything that my mother approves of from when I was a kid.
You
Like, that's
choose the invisible giant of your parents' choice.
yeah, and that's why I don't blame other people for what they are.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at them. I don't think they're
No,
right.
they just don't want to piss off their parents.
Yeah, no one does.
Who does?
Yeah, you still want to go to Sunday dinner, don't you?
Yeah. Osama bin Laden might not have believed that. He's like, oh, if I don't do this, my dad's going to shit himself.
I am not putting up with what she's going to say. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear what Dad's mad about. Let me just pass that.
Because I got to confess. I can't confess this at church because it's too vile.
Yeah, no,
I'll
tell
tell
me,
it to
Johnny.
you.
Tell me.
So I'm at a party.
Yeah,
I've had a couple of drinks.
I don't blame you.
And I do a horrible joke.
What'd you do?
It's an impression
Yeah,
of Jesus
yeah,
walking the cross to Golgotha.
okay,
But in the impression,
yeah.
he's mentally handicapped.
That's not bad. You got
Okay.
to make people laugh.
That's
You're
what
at
I
a
thought.
party.
And my fear of doing it is that when I'm done and I'm
Yeah.
going to die, I'm going to be going down the corridor to heaven, and it'll be like leaving the locker room for an NFL game. I'm going down the corridor. I can see heaven right outside the door. And I see all the people I want to hang out with. And then right at the door, Jesus steps out and goes, really? Do that impression I've heard about. And I go, oh, Lord, what is my crime, Jesus? Bringing joy and laughter to a party
Yeah.
in Saugus.
Yeah, and you know what? God is George Carlin. The minute he died, that's what I thought. Like, oh, from now on, he just took God's job.
He better be, because that's my fear. And I'm like, look at
Yeah.
Jesus, Coney. He's doing horrible stuff. I know about Coney. I like to see the impression one more time. And then I'm going to have to do it, and there's going to be a puff of smoke, and I'm going to be sitting next to Hitler in a locker room in hell eating a bowl of dog eyeballs.
No, don't worry about that.
So that's what I thought. And I go, no, I'm crazy. I'm crazy.
You're fine, Johnny. I want to see this now. I've never seen this, or I want to hear it.
Yeah, you won't hear it. One night, I was at the 9.
Oh, yeah.
And things are going well with this chick. And over the course of the conversation, I find out she's a lesbian.
All right.
And I'm talking to her and her girlfriend, and we were fucking hammered. And so they go, would you like to come back to our apartment?
Whoa.
And first they're like, where is it? Because I'm not going to fucking JP.
Yeah.
No, they lived in the Back Bay.
Okay.
So I go back to their apartment.
With 2 lesbians.
And they're pretty. And
Yeah.
the whole time, you know what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
My hand to God.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm going to hell. I'm going to
For
hell.
doing that.
I'm going to hell.
For just being with them, or for what you're
For
about to go
what
do?
I'm about to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to hell.
But you're still going to do it.
We get in their apartment. This is a true story.
Yeah.
And like a revelation.
Yeah.
Like the clouds part and the sun shines down.
Yeah.
They both remembered they were lesbians.
No.
And I was out the fucking door.
Oh.
And I felt oddly relieved.
Oh.
Because now I don't have to worry about going to hell.
Pressure's off.
And then retarded Jesus at a party 6 years later.
Get you.
I go home that night.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling terrible.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've insulted Jesus.
Oh.
And I got to put something up on the top shelf of my closet. I fall down and I stab my hand on the little hook that I keep my watch on.
Right where Jesus got stabbed.
And did you ever cut yourself like you could see inside your hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
I
see
don't like
inside
that.
my
I
hand.
don't care for
my
it.
hand seemed hollow. I don't think it is, but it
Ouch.
looked dark and hollow.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. And all I could think of was like instant karma.
Yeah.
He does not fuck around.
No.
And then I thought, okay, so I do an impression of him at a party and I get a stigmata within 4 hours.
Jeez.
Fucking Manson is sitting in jail, sleeping like a baby.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
Enjoying the cement.
Yeah, it just comes down to he's just picking on me.
Yeah.
He's just following me.
I don't think that he did that to you. I don't think it's your fault. I actually think that God and Jesus have a great sense of humor. Look at my life.
So, yeah, they'd have to have a sense of humor.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're funny. I do. I think, your higher power, you got to choose one of your own understanding, and that's where that comes
They
from.
give and they take away.
Do me a favor now. I can't wait to hear what this joke was. You got to do it for me.
I can't.
What do you mean?
My other hand. I've got another hand without a stigmata on it.
You'll never tell the joke again?
I'll do it later.
Oh.
You know what I'll do?
I gotta hear
wait
it.
for another terrorist attack, because then God will be so busy
Yeah.
with the victims. I can
Right.
do it. No one will
this
know.
This is why looting happens when
Exactly.
they're in the middle of these things.
Yeah.
I understand. But
Society breaks down under the
can't
cover
wait.
of darkness.
I can't wait for an event. You did the best you could do, even in the way you just did a preliminary, please don't hate me, God. You can at least tell the joke right now.
I will describe it.
All right.
I shit you not.
I understand the
shit
fear. I
you
can see
not.
You are sweating weird.
I shit you not. I was on the floor of my closet with my hand gouting blood.
Promising God you'll
Gout
never
it. I
tell
will
it
never
again.
do it again.
Oh, jeez.
Robbie,
Yeah.
my hand to God.
Your bloody hand to
My
God.
bloody hand to God.
Oh,
I go,
jeez.
all right.
Oh, even when I say that, oh, jeez.
Yeah,
You
never
know
again.
That's after
Never
Jesus.
again.
Yeah,
If you can imagine Jesus
yeah,
carrying the cross
yeah.
on his way to Golgotha,
Okay.
and then with a suddenly blissful, euphoric demeanor,
Yeah.
proudly announcing, I'm helping.
I think it's funny.
You got to sell it.
I think God would think it's funny, but you didn't do the retarded voice, which I know.
No,
I know
because I
that's
promised
what
him.
separates you
I promised him.
from the bad part now.
Exactly.
You described it, but you
Yeah.
couldn't do it. Now, could I do it, or am I going to have
Oh,
troubles
go
later?
nuts. It's, hey,
I'm worried about it. I don't think I'm going to do it now. I'm going to let you deal.
I'm telling you,
I'd gladly go meet the 2 girls in the Back Bay, though.
fat lot of good that did.
Yeah, it's not going to do me any good either.
I just,
I'm going to be searching around the Back Bay going,
it's
Newbury
just-
Street
it
or
wasn't
Marlboro
working.
Street.
It wasn't working. I was there, and it wasn't working. And,
Yeah.
I was like the runt pig.
Yeah.
Couldn't get a teat.
You get to the bottom of your drink, and you're just like,
Yeah. Okay. So should I let myself out since no one's letting me in?
That's my least favorite sentence at the end of a long night. Should I let
Should I let myself out?
Because you've already made the decision that this is over.
Yeah, it's
I know
over.
it is. And
I
now
did what
that's
any
my-
gentleman would do.
Yeah,
I
one-
politely excused myself.
One last plea where you think they might go, no. We're just
Yeah.
going to put on something more comfortable. But
Nothing.
you know what? The most comfortable thing they did was get home and realize they love each other, not
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, and I had no business being there.
You were an escort.
I did what any gentleman would do.
Yeah.
I politely excused myself.
And all their neighbors are going, oh, one of them isn't gay.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
No, they were looking at me like, wow, these lesbians are getting manisher and manisher.
Oh, that's nice. Mm-hmm. That's, well.
And then, like it says in the Book of Etiquette, when a gentleman leaves a lady's apartment,
Oh, yeah.
I stopped off in the bathroom and jacked off into their conditioner.
Oh, that's weird. That's very strange, but I like it.
I felt better.
Where do you get that book?
Oh, they sell it at Brooks Brothers.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I had to buy a tie for a funeral.
Oh, that's nice. Not the tie for the funeral, but do they have that in audiobooks?
There's a decorum for gentlemen.
Johnny,
There's a
do you
decorum.
have that book, really? Can I borrow it?
Yeah, Guide to Gentleman Behavior. Oh.
I just want to look up
It's
if I'm
upstairs.
supposed to wear a belt or not.
Well, you cannot wear a belt with suspenders.
Okay. But otherwise, should you wear one? Like
I would
like
wear
right
one.
now. I'm not
Do not
wearing
wear a belt with a bathing suit.
All right, I'm not wearing a belt, right? But with a T-shirt, it seems okay. Once you put on a button-down, are you now just looking like a guy who has a button-down but no belt?
The Preppy Handbook would tell you you don't need a belt.
Oh.
But the Preppy Handbook is subtitled How to Dress Like a Shithead.
Oh, yeah.
Because all those guys are fucking shitheads.
And they don't sell that at Brooks
Yeah.
Brothers.
How to dress like an arrogant fuck in Harvard Square that
Yeah.
you're going to punch in the back of the neck
Yeah.
when you see him leaving Cumbies at 2 a.m.
Yeah, you need an alligator.
Yeah. Or what a gentleman does, which is more consistent.
Yeah?
For example, if you're on a date with a woman
Yeah, hopefully.
and she has a mole
Uh-huh.
with a little bit of hair growing out of it,
Wait, what?
you don't say, get that fucking thing off your face. You don't.
No, but what you say is good night.
But you know what you do is what a gentleman says is, I love your beauty, Mark.
Oh, that
You
is
turn
nice.
it.
Yeah.
You turn
Even
it.
the
And
way
then,
you said it, I
and
like.
even if you go home, you just pretend you're caressing her face and you just keep your thumb over it.
You don't look at it.
Yeah, keep your thumb over it. And if you meet a woman, say you're in Pensacola, Florida, and it's winter, and a lot of carnivals have docked for the winter, and you meet a girl with a hump.
Yeah.
You know what you say? I love your beauty bump.
Oh, that's
You
very
turn
nice.
it. A gentleman turns
I've
it.
never had to say that yet, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the experience now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be. If I might just seek it out.
Yeah, it's always always.
What a lovely beauty. Wait, say it again.
I love your beauty
I
bump.
like that.
Yeah.
that's sweet.
I always look for the positive thing to say.
That's very nice, and
Yeah.
I think it's why you do so well with the ladies.
Yeah. For example, I talked about Charles Manson,
Why, Johnny? Don't bring that up.
an easy target.
Yeah.
Can you find the love in your heart? Can you be Christian? Because Jesus would try to find a way to love him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
and I
enough.
just keep thinking, he would have been a great casting choice for young Santa.
That's nice.
He looked like young Santa.
Yeah. With a little bit of that thing over his forehead or whatever, though.
Well, that was before. That
Oh, I
came
guess
during
they
the
could-
trial.
You can't get that off.
He carved a swastika on his head during the trial,
Oh.
apparently to sway the jury.
In what direction?
I don't know. Maybe he thought that they were getting the jury from the fucking Hogan's Heroes cast.
Jeez, that's weird.
And then when he goes for parole, he's got to
That's what I was going to say.
He's got to comb his hair over. He's got to comb bangs.
Yeah.
And the parole board's thinking, Jesus Christ, it's 2011. He's still dressing like fucking Peter Talk. That's why he can't get out.
Well, the one thing that's weird.
Here comes Davy Jones again.
He was just up for parole again.
I know.
And you know what they said? Why? Why are we still talking about
Yeah.
this?
We're on. You know what? He doesn't hear at those hearings a lot. We're on the fence.
Because can you imagine the people that let him out if they
Yeah.
finally said, you know what, you've been really good. You have been good and it's time to go. And good luck.
Yeah.
He can't walk out to Starbucks and get one with latte. He
What
can't-
do you intend to do for gainful employment if we were to release you back into society? I would cut cold cuts.
Yeah.
You would,
Oh, geez. Wait, no. No matter
Yeah.
what he says, they
And
see
that's
the
where
bad side.
people
of
in the
it.
store, stop cutting my cold cuts. It's
Yeah,
over a
I don't-
pound.
Oh, yeah.
You know when Manson looking at you with those crazy eyes and a swastika? It's a little over. You want it? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about 4 pounds over.
Yeah, he's bagging your groceries. He puts too many things in the bag.
Oh, I used to bag groceries.
That's
That's the worst job
It's
on
not a fun
earth.
job.
You hear the asshole grandmas. Put everything in one bag, but keep it light.
Yeah, I have this
I'm a
fear.
fucking bag boy. I can't redefine physics. Put
Oh.
everything on the top.
Well, my folks are so old that I go back home and I got to go move back into their town with them, and then the whole time I'm like, oh, I have to take the jobs I took when I was a kid to be
Oh.
close to them. Like I'm mowing the lawn next door and I'm bagging groceries and I'm in my 60s. My
Oh.
parents are in their 80s, and I'm going like, how'd this happen?
Yeah.
But bagging groceries, I do have the fear of that.
If you were in your 60s and you went back to live with your parents who were in their 80s, would you still revert to your old behavior? Like they still be turning?
Oh, yeah.
Turn down that music.
Yeah. Are you doing bongs in the basement?
Yeah. You're in that bathroom a long time.
What are you doing?
It's a sin.
I know you. Yeah, I don't know if I would do it, but I know that my mother would still think
Going
I
to the
was.
movies, waiting for your 80-year-old parents to pick you up
Look at you.
at the Kendall Square T-stop.
That's what my aunt would say whenever you're doing anything.
Oh, look at you.
Look at you.
Yeah, my grandmother's in a retirement home, and they always have to do that, and they don't do much, so they're always like, look at you sitting in a chair. Look at you.
Well,
Pushing it.
you lucky.
You pushed out that whole Otter Pop. You didn't need help from anybody.
Good for you,
That's
dear.
in my will. When I'm too weak to push out a complete Otter Pop, put a fucking bullet in my head.
I like that.
Because we don't respect our elderly. We put them in homes. It smells a lot like Band-Aids.
You know what my dad would always do, and I always loved him for this, was he would bring the clips from the newspaper that applied to each of my aunts. His mother had 7 sisters.
Oh, God.
And he would bring the clips around to these different people, and he'd snack while they read it. So there was something in there for him. It was nice for him, but he would just take the paper and go, you know who would love this? Aunt Sis. You know who would love this? Aunt Betty. And he would bring those clips to the different people, and it was a very loving thing.
Oh, my Lord.
He did respect his elders.
But we can't do that now because there's no more newspapers.
No,
now
no.
it's all on computers.
Yeah, now you got to send him an email.
Yeah, send him an email, then he has to print it and clip it.
Yeah, I hope they can open it.
Ugh.
You
I
know.
hate those. I'm not on email. Well, good. Why don't you
How
fucking...
are you not on email?
Oh, I know people that aren't on email. My great uncle is like, I'm not getting on email. Good. Why don't you take your fucking clothes to the river and bang them on a rock, too, you Luddite? Society must progress.
I'm not going to go in. It'll be over, and I'll still be doing what I'm doing.
And why is it that we haven't gotten jetpacks yet? And we haven't gotten...
I want a jetpack.
And I was a kid, all the future movies, we all had turtlenecks and big sideburns.
Right here
that
in
doesn't
Boston.
come back either.
Right here in Boston, they got the first car plane. True story.
Uh-huh.
They have a car that you can pull into the gas station, go to the airport, same gasoline, fly, land, tuck your wings in, and park your car.
Shut the
I
fuck.
swear to God. I swear to God. It's a company from Boston, and it's called...
Spacely Sprockets.
No, I'm not making this up.
Are you telling me
Johnny.
Cogswell Cogs beat him to the flying car?
Johnny, I swear to God, it's a true story. It's this plane car, and they've got orders for them. They're like $150,000. You get a car that turns into a plane that turns back into a car. I swear to God.
But you still have to fly right over the road. You
You
can't
gotta-
go all over the place. So the 93 will still be a fucking nightmare, but you're up
You'll
in
be
the air.
bumping up in the air, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, those accidents don't look good in my
How
head.
do they keep people once everybody has a car plane? How do they keep people from just smashing
Well,
into each other?
I think that's it. It's just a small one. It's like a one-person plane or 2 people or whatever, but you get to go where you need to go without being on the road. So say you're going from like Boston to Vermont or something, right? All of a sudden, you're there in minutes.
You know what I just thought? I would love to get a hand job
Yeah?
while driving a car plane.
Yeah.
And then I took a beat and thought, or just a hand job.
I don't need the car plane.
I don't need the car plane.
All I need is the fun.
So much in life boils down to that.
Yeah.
When push comes to shove, you don't really need a car plane. Sometimes just a hand job
Yeah,
will do.
When push comes to shove, pull it.
I'm Johnny Condon.
I'm still Robbie Sullivan.
I can't top that.
Political Talk with 2 guys from Boston.
I was just back home in Massachusetts visiting my parents, and
Yeah.
I was in the parking lot of the Cumberland Farms, which is the convenience store in
All right.
Massachusetts. As we called it, Cumbies.
Cumbies.
What would you compare it to in L.A.?
Yeah.
7-Eleven.
Oh, it's like a Wawa.
Oh, so it's low grade, like
Oh, yeah.
just people hanging around waiting to be murdered or murderers and
People are, what are you going to do today? Break bottles?
break bottles, bookies,
Stick a
Yeah.
firework
Porn.
in a cat's ass.
Yeah. A lot of people collecting, as they say. I'm collecting. I fell off a ladder. I'm collecting.
Those are the people who still read newspapers too, but I mean the local papers.
They
Do
read
you
the
know what I mean?
Boston Herald.
Yeah.
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 A lot of Hearst journalism.
Her stuff, like
Yeah.
look at this. The guy, he deserves to die. Like you hear
Yeah.
that in the store.
Says
he
it-
deserves to die.
Says there in the paper, Obama ate a kid. Sure.
I read it.
Thanks, Obama. Thanks. You need someone to kick around.
No.
Thanks, Obama.
You need to feel better than somebody. Might as well be one of the most accomplished people in the country.
Yeah.
At least I'm better than him. That guy that achieved the unachievable. But so anyway, I'm getting ready to go in the store, and I see this guy get out of his car. This always happens when you go home to your hometown, like, oh, who am I going to bump into today?
Yeah.
That's scary stuff, by the way.
I was a super fat kid. I was
Can't
like
believe that.
Pugsley Adams. If you saw a photo of Pugsley Adams, it might be a photo of me.
Are you saying you had no definition?
I did have a definition. I'm saying I looked like a Kaiser roll.
That was your definition?
That had been struck by lightning and gained sentience.
What? Struck by lightning.
And I see this guy get out of his car who used to torture me when I was a fat kid for being fat. And now I'm not fat. And he is big as a goddamn house.
Good.
Did you just run up to him and go, "You're fat now, and look at me"?
Remember me? Of course you don't. I'm skinny. I'm Dana Gould.
You probably thought I was a stick figure showing you how to use the fire stairs. No, what happened was I sat in my car like, oh, I don't want to.
You didn't want revenge, huh?
I didn't. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to talk to him.
You didn't want to talk with him.
Just the path of least resistance.
Was it a fear of like he might find something else to make fun of?
No,
now that I'm skinny?
no. It would have.
Oh, you wear glasses now.
You're
fucking
lazy
poor
in
eyes.
your writing. I've seen shit you've written, the pilots.
Your
The
blog
Simpsons went downhill season 13.
Your blog posts are woeful. Good day. No, I didn't know. I just assumed it would be awkward and like, oh, hi, dude. So I just sat in my car. Then I'm talking to. I did what any grown man would do. I cowered.
You coward.
And then I told my brother later that I saw this guy. And of course, my brother, not like me at
Is
all.
that the prison guy?
No, my
The
other
cop?
brother. This is the home inspector.
Home
My brother
inspector.
Kevin, the home inspector.
It's always some kind of law thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of bureaucracy.
Oversight.
Oversight.
Oversight in your family.
Yeah, authority to detain. That's what we're all about. The authority to detain.
Judgment.
Your drains are a little clogged there. Either you get them fixed next month or we burn it.
Yeah. This your moisture barrier? You gonna have kids in this house? So I tell my brother that story, and he goes like, "Did you say something to him?" I go, "No, I didn't want to. I just sat in the car." So the next time my brother sees him, he like got up in the guy's face and he goes, "Hey, my brother Dennis saw you the other day. He said it was, remember when you used to make fun of him being fat? now you're big as a goddamn house."
I love your brother for that, by the way.
Right up in his face.
That's real loyalty.
That's family loyalty.
That's family loyalty.
But the guy, here's the thing, according to my brother, just kind of laughed, and he was like, "Oh yeah, did I make fun of him? Oh yeah." So
By the
what's
way-
he do now? He out in Hollywood now? It had nothing on him. He was like,
Unbelievable.
oh yeah.
That is called the fat man's retort. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Did I?
I think the way my brother tells it, he was just completely like unfazed by. Oh, it's MC. Should have said hi. Like he has no you tortured me.
said
No, it's like because to me it's like you tortured me for years.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, oh, did I? Hey, look at that cloud. Looks like a Toyota. You know, it's like,
So there's
it just
something very
doesn't-
unsatisfying.
Not only that, but like I mean, basically one of the reasons that I remain in shape is like not in shape, in a shape.
That is a great line, by the way. If you want to remain in a shape,
Hey.
follow me, Dana Gould.
Ask me how.
You want a shape?
I'm going to get you into a shape. Because I hear that guy's voice in my head all the time, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to eat a Twinkie. I'm not going to have butter on my popcorn.
That's
I'm gonna
great
run.
that you can do that. That you can use, some guy who did that to you as a motivator.
But it's so funny that hate is the motivator.
The spiritual teachers, and I do a lot of this self-help crap, like at this point in my life, 53, I am constantly looking for answers to the riddle that is my intense anger and anxiety constantly.
Right. And you
I'm
do,
serious.
I will say, you walk in peace, and yet are wearing a bandolier of cat heads.
That about describes me. And the great spiritual...
If I may say,
Shit.
a Chewbacca-esque bandolier of cat heads.
Yeah.
That would get you laid.
It
in a
is weird that
second
you wore
at
that to a
Burning Man.
podcast.
But the great spiritual masters, of which I've read a couple now, I read them when I'm anxious and
We
stuff.
have one less with us now that Ernest Borgnine is dead. His answer to many of life's problems was hitting Tim Conway with a hat.
Boy, I watched those McHale's Navies. I watched them the other day.
First Andy Griffith and now Ernest Borgnine, man. Who's next? It's going to
Wow.
be somebody from TV
Hazel?
Land.
Larry Storch.
Larry Storch. Larry, if you're listening, don't worry.
Tim Conway's walking around. Am I alive?
Ooh.
I often wonder if Paul McCartney wakes up every morning. Is Ringo dead? Like he really just wants to be
He's
the last
really
one.
just trying to stay alive.
First thought every morning. Ringo die?
Straight to the TMZ every morning.
Keith Richards will outlast everybody.
Yes. Well, that's Brian Wilson has outlived most of the Beach Boys, and that guy, it's unbelievable.
He's in A shape.
He is in A shape. Yeah, he is in A shape, and that guy like ate acid the way people eat popcorn.
Is that what happened to him?
Yeah, he ingested a lot of drugs and had pre-existing emotional conditions that were exacerbated by a Herculean intake of mind-altering drugs.
That's why I never, by the way, really did acid. I did some mescaline, which is just an orange powder that the natives did.
Oh, okay.
And I would just see trails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would just see
I know what you
trails,
mean.
like the red trail, the green trail, but...
The trail of
I
tears.
never did that because my pre-existing fucking emotional conditions, I could not. Like, I don't think I need a drug to make me feel like an insect right now.
I feel like an insect because I am within the sight lines of a woman.
Exactly.
I already feel like an insect.
Exactly. But what I want to say is the spiritual masters say that you can't act out of hate. They'd say that.
I agree, yeah.
If you act out of hate, that will just come back and eat you alive.
And I believe that is true.
I believe it's true, too.
And, the example being, I will think of something that bothers me and put myself wholeheartedly into a horrible mood.
Totally.
Yeah, me too.
Just imagining something someone might say, and that'll just kill me for 2 hours, and it's completely...
A creation of your own freaking...
I have been in horrible moods, and then I have just stopped, tried to figure out why, come up with nothing, and go, I should be in a good mood.
And you're able to... Are you able to then let it go? Because that's key.
Yeah, you let it go. The atom bomb was not motivated by love. And look at all the wonderful things we have from that. People with lobster hands.
Well, maybe you're talking about the atom bomb being motivated by fear. You know what I mean? I really feel like fear is the motivator because it's like, holy shit, that guy's right. I'm a Kaiser roll. I want to be a Bialy.
Oh, yeah.
At least. I want to be a Bialy by the time, in a year.
Well, that's why you hate them, because they validate your worst view of yourself.
That's right. Yeah, so...
I believe it was Don Murray in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes who said to Roddy McDowell as Caesar, when we hate you, we're hating the dark side of ourselves.
Oh, that's a good...
That's wise.
Okay, I think we wrapped it up.
But I hate to keep coming back to Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. I know I mentioned it in my wedding vows twice.
No.
Oh, my God.
You probably did mention Planet of the Apes in your wedding vows, though.
I did not, to the best of my recollection.
I'm getting married soon.
Congratulations! I didn't know you were getting married soon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you
I guess I didn't get...
Did you make... I want you to marry us.
I guess you didn't...
I understand you're
I can marry you.
right?
I can marry you.
Did you marry anyone else?
I married Matt Weinhold to Carolyn Sorokin, and I married...
Are they still married?
They are, and I
That's
married
good.
my friend Jennifer Perry to her husband.
Are they married?
Everybody's still married. My flock is intact.
Nice.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You should think about it, Eddie. He's got a good record.
And I can do it in full Dr. Zayas makeup. Just saying.
my God.
Just saying.
I don't know if I want to be funny,
No, you
Is
don't
that
want to
pressure?
be funny. In fact, I will tell you a story. During my wedding ceremony, we got married by a man that we have since come to call Space Priest 2000. He was this crazy Marjo Gortner-y looking dude in Hawaii that we met, I think, the day before. And he came in a big white robe, and he had this sort of long flowing hair. And at one point during the ceremony, unbeknownst to us, he put his hands on the back of our heads and began speaking in Hawaiian.
Unbeknownst to you?
Yeah, we didn't know this was coming.
Oh, okay.
And it was literally like
Amazing.
Melakamiki Maha, Melahaini Hainiho. And I looked out into the audience and I locked eyes with my friend Jay Kogan, who's a very funny writer.
Yeah.
And Jay basically shook me off like a pitcher shaking off a catcher's
bad
recommendation.
idea, bad idea.
Don't say anything?
Don't say anything. And I didn't, and I'm still grateful to this day.
Yeah.
So I looked at Jay and he was like, don't. But I love that he knew exactly.
Not the time and place.
He knew exactly what I was thinking. It was great. Intern Dave and I were reading the LA Weekly, and there's an article on subgenres of metal music. And there's like metal, and then there's like death metal, speed metal, corpse metal, porno grind,
black metal,
Yeah,
hardcore.
which-
It sounds negative, the metal.
It is negative. It's
Like
metal.
negative.
Rarely does a metal concert stop for someone to go, "We're going to slow things down now." a guy gets a ukulele. How many of you know a little song called Barbara Allen?
Barbara Allen.
You know, the rarely ever has, like Ronnie James Dio, did he ever in his life stop a show? The tradition of the troubadour goes back eons.
Pulls out a lute.
Exactly. This is a little song called Kill Fuck.
There'll be... No, I think it'd be nice if there was one little genre of metal that would dedicate it to love and growth.
Is there any personal growth metal?
That's personal growth.
I am going to call my friends. I am going to forgive my enemies.
I will stop projecting this shit. I will stop projecting shit. I will forgive my father. I will forgive my father.
Positive metal is good.
That's a great idea.
It is.
I've decided that I eat too much butter.
Actually, a little investigation revealed that there is such a band from the mean streets of Mill Valley, California, where they were raised in the nefarious shadow of the abandoned Color Me Mine. Here is I'm Okay, the latest single from the world's most upbeat death metal band, Iron Smile.
I'm okay, you're okay, he's okay, she's okay. I think that I'll make today the best day that I can today. Sky is blue, grass is green, everything is peachy keen. Life is like a happy scene projected on a movie screen. So I'm gonna have to tell you a story. Last week I had a big performance review at work, and my boss said he was really happy with me. I might be in line for a big promotion. I tried to act all cool, be calm and gracious, but it was really hard not to get excited. See, I work for a large distributor of pet care supplies, and I love that my job means that, in my own way, every day, I help animals. I've always thought of myself as a dog person. But Katie, my girlfriend, has a cat. And you know what? I love that thing. So does Katie. Cats can hold a lot more love than you think they can. Ah! Cat's okay, dog's okay. Dogs can fetch and sit and stay. Sun is up, brand new day. Let's all try to stay okay. Ah! Buttons, come here. Who's a member of the Tailwaggers Club? You are. That's because you're Mr. Buttons. Come here. Ah!
Matt, you love Kiss.
I do love Kiss, yeah.
You grew up loving Kiss.
Yeah.
What are your feelings about Mini Kiss?
Mini Kiss is just more to love. That's how I see
what
it.
I love is like when somebody is into something that much.
Yeah.
There's something about Kiss that's just timeless. You know, it's like one of those things that just like, you know, Kiss comes out of the Grammys, I'm thrilled. Mm-hmm. You know, if you watch the footage of Mini Kiss, there's just so much joy in it. Now, Tiny Kiss, that's a different story. Do you know the saga of Mini Kiss and Tiny Kiss?
I do not, no.
No, I've never heard this story.
Oh, well, there was a very popular all-little person tribute band to Kiss called Mini Kiss.
Sure, that Mini Kiss I know, yeah.
Right, and then there was a friend of the leader of Mini Kiss, who also was a little person, formed Tiny Kiss. And then the leader of Mini Kiss sued Tiny Kiss
and physically attacked the other band in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was pay-per-view, by the way.
Yeah. And it's so funny because they are little people, the police only grounded them. But no, there's a whole crazy story about Mini Kiss and Tiny Kiss.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. And again, nothing about it to not love. If you get the cast of Time Bandits, you're halfway home. Yeah.
They're all serving time in someone's sock drawer right now.
Well, Kiss is a weird thing because I, too, am a fan of Kiss.
What's
But we
not to like about Kiss?
Right. Well, we can talk about how much we love Dark Shadows, and then we get angry at Tim Burton for remaking it, or you love a Spider-Man movie, but you get upset at somebody for remaking it. With Kiss, you can only get upset at Kiss for what they've done because Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley have managed to completely ruin Kiss, which is weird because Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley are people that I love.
Yes. Do you think it's a little bit of like kind of diminishing returns? Like when it comes to writing the songs and all that kind of thing, it's done. It's kind of done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the truth is I'm really just too old to... I shouldn't even care. Because the truth is, if they put out another record, I'm not buying it.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. I just like to listen to my old Kiss records. But as somebody posted on Facebook a couple of months ago, they were really excited.
I believe it's called The Facebook.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Well, it was on the interwebs where I saw this. You go to http:... Anyway, somebody had actually posted a backstage photo. They were so excited from the Kiss concert. Some guy had posted this. It's his kid standing there with Tommy Thayer.
Yeah.
Tommy Thayer is the guy who plays Ace Frehley
Right.
in Kiss now. He was excited to post this photo. And I'm like, what the...
And he has the Space Ace makeup.
He's got the Space Ace
Now,
makeup.
This is like posing with Gallagher too.
If
I
I'm
was
at
talking to-
the hardware store and I run into Ace Frehley by the Hammers
Yeah.
and I have someone take a picture, that should be
That is
posted on the
exciting,
Facebook.
yes.
I was talking to some musician, and I can't remember who it was, but like a real professional musician.
You were drunk.
I was drunk. I was at the Guitar Center buying more tambourines, and they were going off on Tommy Thayer because like Gene Simmons took the Space Ace character that Ace Frehley had created and gave it to a guitar tech. In the way that, like, listening to me grouse about Willie Loomis wasn't a screwball drunk. He was a dangerous criminal, you know.
Well, it's also like he's talking about it like they rebooted the DC universe. He completely changed his origin story. No, he didn't. It's a guy in a makeup, and he comes out and he plays rock.
I mean, I do get it to some extent. Because some years ago, when I was casting that 70s show, we had an episode where they did a fantasy sequence. They wanted Gene Simmons to come in for this bit in the full thing. So, Natch. So I call on Gene Simmons, and Gene Simmons can't do it because they are touring at the time.
How much is it?
Right? No, he said, well, I can't do it. I'm touring. He goes, and you don't really want me because I don't really look, even in the makeup, like I did in the 70s. He goes, who you want, though, is this guy. And he says, I've got this guy. I remember his name is Spiro Papadakis. Because you want Spiro Papadakis. He says, Spiro is my Gene Simmons sanctioned Gene Simmons impersonator. And Spiro worked for the Kiss organization. And Spiro and Tommy Thayer had both been in a Kiss tribute band that used to perform. And when Kiss had decided to regroup and go back into the makeup and do the old songs, you know, which they hadn't done in many years, they hired this Kiss cover band to reteach them everything. Because the Kiss cover band had, of course, been studying Kiss, like the sacred texts.
Yes,
so they
right.
hired these guys to come back and teach them all the stuff that they had dropped out of their memory banks.
and replaced it with Lick It Up.
Right, right, exactly.
Women squirting milk-filled water bottles into each other's mouths.
Which is one of my favorite bad videos of all time, I think.
Yeah.
Well, wait for it, because I contend that Kiss is really only a couple more years away from a Lick It Up tour.
So it's going to be
They're
the
just
take
gonna
off the makeup again.
Yeah.
That had to have been a sad day where, like, you know, they're the biggest band in the world.
Yeah.
And that guys were going to take... It was genius in its way. Like, I remember, like, pictures of Gene Simmons, like, with a handkerchief over his face, like, at the heyday of Kiss.
Right,
and
right.
you'd lose your
Yeah,
mind. It's almost
yeah.
what he looks like. One day they take off the makeup, and by that time, I was like, nah.
Who cares?
Yeah. And then there's this one sad day after a couple of years that Gene's... Hey, Paul. Yes, Gene.
That's
What are you
exactly how
doing?
they sound.
Well, listen, Gene. I hope what you have to say doesn't take a long time because I have to go to Color Me Mine with my stepson. Yeah, I have to get some bad news. I've been looking at the record sales, and I think we got to put the makeup back on. Oh, Lord, that's a big decision, Gene. Let me think about this while I'm painting a flower pot of a deer.
So these guys, when Kiss regrouped, they hired that Kiss cover band. They took that cover band off the market.
Sure.
That cover band had been touring all over
By
the
the
place.
way, you
They were
guys go on the
couple-
road again, I'll slit your throat.
Right. So they absorbed them into the Kiss universe and they give them jobs. And
Well, that's nice something
great,
to
yeah.
do. I think that's...
well, it is nice. So
They don't want to be competing with their own cover band, much in the way Gallagher does not want to compete with Gallagher too.
Right.
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 So he sends a Spiro guy to the show. He sends with him a Gene Simmons outfit. He sends with him one of the Kiss makeup artists to do his face. And then the guy Spiro invites me to the concert because they were coming in town. So I went to see them, and the concert was delayed.
Was this the Dodger Stadium Halloween show with
no, this was down in Orange
Smashing
County. It was
Pumpkins opening?
No, it was down in Irvine, and it was about 45 minutes late in starting. Turns out they were late because Ace Frehley had not shown up. And Tommy Thayer was standing there in the makeup and outfit, ready to go on. So sometimes, as it turns out, even when the guys were playing, you might not have been seeing all four of them. They would just switch these guys that couldn't show up.
As you know, in Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, starring Kiss and Anthony Zerbe,
Yes.
where you hear Paul Stanley's regular speaking voice in several scenes. And that's how I found out that he sounds like your aunt from Paramus. Demon, Catman, Starchild, Terry and Jane are trapped on the Ferris wheel.
Sounds like Ed Wynn.
It really does.
Bert Lahr.
Yeah.
It's a very subtle change from Paul Stanley to Bert Law. It's just him speeded up a little bit. But in several scenes, Ace Frehley didn't show up, and the Ace guy in the movie is black. So there are certain scenes where Ace has black arms, and they didn't even bother.
Yeah.
You know. So Ace is black in a couple scenes. That actor now is the
Morgan Freeman.
other Obama that the Secret Service puts on the... No, I don't. But there is another
the Queen
Obama.
of Soul,
you know.
Aretha Franklin.
There is
True story.
there is another Obama.
Yeah.
You know, when he travels to L.A., there's two cars that go off, and
This goes a long
It's like the eagle
way,
has landed.
This goes a long way towards explaining that hand job I got.
You got a hand job from Black Ace?
I don't recall the president having a missing front tooth. I do look at people like if you go to you know, Halloween Town or like some store, you know, it's one of those days you need a Plan 9 from Outer Space t-shirt.
Right,
You've got to go to Halloween Town.
Yeah.
And you see like real heavy duty metal guys. That
Oh,
are
really?
all tats, a lot of piercings, long hair, all black leather. I just think like you're really committed to a mood
in your
in your
forever.
life.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could never understand.
I am not saying it's wrong, and I'm not judging. I'm just
I
saying,
am. I
don't
am.
understand to get into that head of like, really, you're just going to be dark rage.
for your whole
Yeah,
life. Yeah.
yeah. Especially if you're completely covered in tattoos, like that doesn't.
By the way,
come
that's
off.
why I never got a tattoo. Does anyone here have a tattoo? I never got a. Stevie
Intern
does.
Dave has tattoos.
Because my shit changes every second. I'm like, I would get the tattoo and immediately be like, don't like it.
Oh, that's me too. It's the same thing with acid. It's like the reason that I never took acid, the reason that I've never done anything, but like getting drunk. It's like because I'm always thinking I'm never gonna not be drunk. Like that's my fear.
Yeah.
Like I have
Even drinking or getting.
If you
I am
took
like a
acid
dog.
with that mindset, you would definitely have a bad trip.
right. And I-
No, definitely.
oh
yeah.
yeah.
And like when a dog is eating a bowl of food, and the food disappears from the bowl because they've eaten it all, they don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Because they think this was going to go forever.
This is never ending.
Dogs only know right now. You know,
Right.
They're
dogs,
like Eckhart Tolle.
Dogs,
Power of now.
it's true. Dogs live in the moment. And I think that's a beautiful gift from
It is.
God, that an
It is.
animal that can lick its own genitals can also think that it will be doing that forever.
Yeah.
You know, it's really what a gift. Because if people could lick their own genitals, they would, but they wouldn't have the freedom that a dog has. Like, I got to go to the dry cleaners. Slop, 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 slop.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I only got 5 more minutes of this. Fuck.
Yeah, that's what happens with humans.
I got to get an oil filter change.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I may be licking my genitals now, but tomorrow I'm getting this fucking growth removed.
My skin tags burned off.
Blowing yourself, but all you can think of is a skin tag on my neck. It's so gross.
I had a Pink Floyd Laserium concert. That's no health insurance.
I'm either going to get the skin tag burned off or have them all made into Nazi flags and have my neck be a miniature model of the Nuremberg rally.
A bandolier of skin tags.
That's more like it
Rarely.
for me.
Rarely, if ever. You can do a LexisNexis search of the entire body of Victorian erotica, and you will never find the phrase bandolier of skin tags. I ran my fingers lovingly through her bandolier of skin tags.
So fucking disgusting.
And hopefully it would make the sound of a piano glissando.
But it would also be like the Dalai Lama slipping and shit. Like, just fucking kill him. You know, the Dalai Lama, like, you would be like, whoa. Like, you know, fuck it. Let's kill him. Let's kill this guy who can't meditate. Point him out to me. Like, if he had an episode.
We're only as strong as our weakest link. Let's fucking
Who
cut
says
it
they
out.
can't concentrate on God? Who? Like
What
Dolly
fuck-
slap.
Which one of you fucks can achieve nirvana?
Really? Enlightenment? You can't fucking get there.
That would be funny. Like the hardest thing
Like
in
the
the
Dalai
world.
Lama, like I just imagine a field of people meditating and the Dalai Lama walking amongst them. If you've ever gone to a meditation class and you're all sitting on the floor and then the instructor will like walk on maybe like they adjust your
Yeah.
posture or
Yeah.
something. But instead, and it's the Dalai Lama, but he's talking like Robert De Niro in The Untouchables. One of you fucks is not chanting.
He's got it's
Meditation is like fucking baseball.
It's a bamboo stick though. They're hard. If you've ever touched any bamboo in Huntington Gardens,
I've never. I will go to my grave before I
Arboretum.
touch bamboo. Good day. That is so funny.
I feel so proud of myself when I go to places now because of the computer and the internet. When I go to places like Huntington Gardens, which is a big botanical gardens in Pasadena,
That's great.
I'm like, I don't know if I should say this on the air, but I always have a voice that is scoring me for the day.
Of course.
Scoring.
Yeah, like
Not music.
Eddie.
You have a voice that's doing your soundtrack?
No, I mean scoring, keeping score, like how I am doing in life. Like as I'm walking through Huntington Gardens and I see a bamboo tree, I'm like, hey, you've just saw a bamboo, Eddie. Other people don't even know what it looks like.
Jesus
Like
Christ,
that.
Eddie. That's
Eddie, you're-
fucking horrible.
That's my fucking life.
That's
I do-
exhausting.
Oh, I am exhausted.
I have done stuff like I remember once we went to a wedding in Mexico and we were on a private plane. And I was like,
Private planes are like.
I'm on a private plane.
Yeah.
I went to Van Nuys Airport and
Could
I
be
walked.
worse.
right up to
You
the
must
plane.
take him here and there, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it
you
was-
do.
I'm always like, I'm on a private plane.
big time.
But this is what I do, and I'm on the private plane, and I think, that guy from high school who thought I was fat, he's not on a private plane. He works at the water department, or wherever he works.
Yeah.
He's going home, and he's going to drink a 6-pack and
Yeah.
watch the game. And
Yeah.
on a
I'm
private
always
plane.
in a competition in my head, which is fucked.
Exactly, because then what I do is like, I'm on a private plane. Pretty good. Judd Apatow takes him every day. But I'll get all up there, and then I'll just like, Judd Apatow probably is annoyed that he has to get on another private plane.
Yeah.
He'd probably love to go on public transportation. I am a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'll be the guy in the private plane just, I wish I was dead. Why? I'm not doing this more. Which means that I suck.
I'm on a private plane and I hate it. I'm on a private plane and I hate it.
My favorite part of In First Class is when they give me warm peanuts. I love warm peanuts. Rob Cohen and I were sitting at Arts Deli, where apparently, according to this podcast, I live. Shatner was sitting across from us in a pair of mandals, talking about the Donnas.
Whoa!
But
Who's the Donnas?
The Donnas are a band.
Awesome girl band.
But I was just obsessed that he had that weird toenail thing. He had a funky
Like a
Bucci
curled toenail?
No,
You were checking out his feet?
Well, I couldn't help it. They were right in front of me, and he had a Bucci toenail. Yeah. You get the fungus on him, and
Yeah.
you have 9 good toes, and then one looks like a Frito.
Oh, yeah, I
One
don't like
went
that. I've
south.
never had that. I feel superior. That's a
I have one.
scorecard where I always keep. I'm like, you're good with the toes, kid.
No, my
You're known
right,
for your toes.
my right ring toe
Not good?
is
Ring toe.
is like Gollum.
Well, you take off a ring, it won't be like Gollum anymore.
See, that's where my mind went. Ring. Oh.
But back to these trailers that rape your face.
Yeah, I really want to know who said that because I feel
That's
like they're gonna
funny.
think I stole it from them.
But I watch these trailers, and one after the other of the big Hollywood movies, it's such fucking machismo. I feel like that's a real laziness. It's
Yeah.
just like, we're going to have this thing come at them. It's going to come at them, and it's just going to break and hit and hurt and music underneath. It's like there's nothing.
Yeah. Frank Conniff, TV's Frank.
Yeah, I love Frank.
Coined the phrase "kill fuck" as that was every USA Today movie, made for TV. USA Tonight, kill fuck. And that's what all of those movies are. And I was in the store and they were playing one of the Transformer movies on the television. Does that even count as a movie?
No.
No.
It's an advertisement.
No.
But it's not even I can't even tell what's happening. It's like the building became a truck, and now the truck is a dude. But his teeth are swords. But there's 19 camera angles, and a guy's running under. It's just stop.
I'm always the guy in the movie theater yelling, "Can someone be vulnerable?" I'll yell that. I'll yell that at the top of my lungs. Is anyone vulnerable? You know what movie I saw and I kind of liked it? I liked it. I gave it like a 7. Was Prometheus. I don't know if you guys...
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I have little kids. I've seen Brave.
How was Brave?
I've seen Madagascar.
I love
3.
Pixar. Is Brave a good Pixar?
Yeah, it's everything you think
Billy
you're going to
Connolly?
see. Billy Connolly.
Connolly.
Yes. He has dialogue, which is interesting because if you see his stand-up and
The
also-
plane went into the ground like a fucking dot. I love how he curses.
But a lot of that stuff is also, and Russell Brand does it too, it's just very entertaining reportage of what's happening at this moment. I'm on stage, aren't I? Holding a microphone. It's making my voice loud. Yours isn't. Now I'm walking over here. I'm over here now.
That's funny. The stand-up comic who has no material but is really in the moment.
Yes, it says everything. Look at my feet on the floor. Wouldn't it be odd if my feet weren't on the floor? What if my elbows were on the floor and my feet were up here? I'd look like an acrobat, wouldn't I?
You'd be running from the theater. And look at you sitting there looking at me.
You're looking at me. I'm looking at you. The curtains are over there. Wish I was the curtains, but if I were the curtains, I wouldn't be me then, would I? You'd all be staring at nothing.
I think that's a great fucking character.
When are you getting married?
I'm getting married in October.
When in October?
We haven't decided the exact.
Don't do it on Halloween.
We want it to be fun.
There will be no comedians at your wedding.
Yeah.
If it's
Everybody
on
will be at
Halloween.
Universal Studios. Everybody. I'm at a haunted house. I'm sorry, I can't make your wedding. I'm at the Corn Maze at Pierce College. I can't go to your wedding.
I wish they'd bring Hell House back.
Were you in it?
No,
was
but
in
I
Hell House.
went to it as just a spectator.
Were you
was
in it, Dana?
amazing.
I was the evil abortion doctor, and I
You
was
were?
also
I knew you
I was
then.
also the rave rapist.
You were?
Yes. My big line? She's out, let's rape her. That was my big line.
That was so awesome.
It was presentational. It was installation art.
Yes. And people, but it's so funny, like people are really into that. You forget, the vast diversity of the people in this country. Like people really believe crazy shit.
Yeah.
Just crazy ass shit.
Yeah.
I was
My
thinking
mother-
about the Mormons' beliefs the other day, and I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? I mean, seriously, the Mormon religion, have you like heard any of their
Yeah,
stuff?
I saw the South Park episode, so I'm pretty up to date
Oh,
on
that's
what
true.
they
Those
believe.
guys are, I forgot about that.
I think all major religions, they're all made up. You know, it's like they're made up by dudes.
They're totally.
Stuff happens. You got to control people. You got to get some sort of psychic infrastructure to manipulate them. That's all. But my mother will literally think like that God helped her find her flip-flops. Like, go upstairs, Jenny. Under the bed. Yeah, it's madness. It's madness.
Amazing. But anyway, I'm getting married in October.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
How
good
long
for
have
you.
you guys been together?
7 years.
Not long enough.
I think
you.
that's not jumping into it, yeah.
No.
How long were you together before?
Oh, no, we were together for 6.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
about the
5,
same.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years.
About the same.
Yeah.
Are you?
I just play video games.
You're married to your work.
I'm married to my hobby.
My hobby. I'm married to my hobby.
I'm married to one of the most jaw-dropping collections of ironic T-shirts.
My Foreigner 4 concert tee is
You just see Steve
amazing.
on a beach, a beautiful setting, T-shirts strewn all over the beach, someone presiding. Do you take this ironic collection?
Yes.
Journey Frontiers, do you take Steve?
And by the way, this Roger Waters Hollywood Bowl T-shirt is to die for.
Do you take this Emerson, Lake, and Palmer wife beater?
Because I certainly don't. Kidding.
So what is something that you see that you just, like, if you're in a terrible mood and you just think of it and you just like go, oh, yeah, that's right.
That takes you out of the
Yeah,
hate?
it takes you out of it. Like something that you just love. And you're like, oh, that's right. Something's nice.
You know what I hate to say? I mean, I know you're not a sports guy, but you know what does that for me? If I put on a baseball game of the team I love, the Yankees, if I put that on, it just calms me down. Like I have, is that one of those things
Yeah,
you're talking about?
yeah.
Like a really close friend, like just like someone I truly love. Why did Steve
I don't know.
laugh?
That's
You see, I try to be vulnerable. All of Hollywood is like, let's take the spike. Let's put
that's me being jealous. Oh, he can find peace in something as simple as a friend.
I think of money.
Money
that if
is
I-
the thing that constantly agitates me, even if I'm making it.
Yeah. I like to
Because
just,
I want more. It really is.
How fast till I run out of this?
Well, no, it's really one of those things. Like the more you get, the more you want.
Right. Yeah, a lot of your anger is based on the false belief that things are finite and that the more somebody else has of it, the less is available to you.
That's really,
Fame, time, money.
and that's also my competitive head too. Like if this guy is this famous, like look at his fucking Tumblr.
Oh, God. Why? Yeah.
How does that lessen me? I still haven't, figured that shit
It's
out.
just a choice. Like,
See, that's a really healthy state of mind to realize my insanity is a choice.
a lot of it is. It's just like,
love.
you're in a horrible,
Hey, fuck you,
no,
Steve.
no, I
you're in a horrible mood.
yeah.
And what is it you'll think of and like it breaks the mood? Something that
I
gives you
don't think there's anything I
something
can
that-
think of.
something that doesn't disappoint in your pursuit of joy / relief.
Music,
Music.
If I need an immediate, I can put on some.
For me, it's Red
Stooges
Rubber
or
Ball by
Hendrix or
Donovan.
something.
Red Rubber Ball by Donovan.
Wasn't that the
should
circle?
have known that you'd bid me farewell. There's a lesson to be learned.
Wasn't that the circle with a Y?
I think you're right.
That was the circle.
You know what I'm talking
written by Paul Simon.
Paul Simon wrote that song that Donovan made famous.
Yes, it's going to be all right. Yes, the
Yes,
worst is over.
that's Paul Simon.
Yeah.
I love Paul Simon.
See, I
too.
fucking hate Paul Simon.
You do?
Wow.
I do.
So that's a
I'm
difference.
sitting in a railway station.
Now that's
Take it
funny
for
that
my
you're making. I
destination.
love that shit.
Cheer the fuck up.
I think I'm more deeply depressed than you.
The movies and the factories. Oh, fuck.
Well, who do you like musically?
Pass
Who do
me
you
a
like musically,
cigarette.
Dana? That it is depressing, but I love that melancholy. I love melancholy.
I love melancholy with a sense of humor. Like to me, the Smiths could do that, but it's funny.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's there's a sense of humor. I left the South, I traveled north, I got confused, I killed a horse, I can't help the way I feel. Like there's a sense of humor to it.
In a clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his name.
I hate that kind of...
Lie-da-die.
Musicians get so livid about like stuff like that. Like the fact that Ace's character was just given away.
Yeah.
It's really offensive.
But I imagine, I do not know for sure, that Ace probably had something to do with that.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think there's some self-destruction in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're not showing up to the thing that is paying for everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Why you would mess up that gig, I have no idea.
You know, it's so funny because they say that in Scientology, that you would do that behavior because you're covered in tiny intergalactic robots
Yes.
called thetans that are blocking your positivity.
Yeah, I know.
And this, of course, makes a lot more sense than any kind of psychology mumbo-jumbo that you might have come up with.
But who is more self-destructive than the famous Scientologist? I mean, John Travolta, who's probably pretty high up in the organization.
Yeah.
Now, this weekend, Dave Lukashak, our intern Dave, is visiting from the great state of New York.
Oh, great.
And he was bored on Friday or Saturday afternoon. So why don't you tell everybody what you did on Saturday? 20 years old, you're in L.A., you're hanging out.
This stems from a conversation with my mother, who thought this was a great idea when I first got down here, but that I should go and visit the Church of Scientology. I should speak to a minister, get sort of the whole Scientology spiel, all under the guise of a fake name, a fake persona, and an incredibly rich young person who's wayward and doesn't know what to do with his life. So I call up one of my good friends, Morgan, who lives nearby in Orange County.
Freeman.
So me and Morgan Freeman assumed fake identities and went to the Church of Scientology on Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, okay, so this was not the center, the
After
celebrity
failing
center.
to be able to find/get into the Celebrity Center.
The Celebrity Center is the giant building on Franklin Avenue in Los Angeles that if you're in L.A. at Franklin and Gower, it's called the Celebrity Center.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And it's this
Beautiful
giant,
building.
beautiful building that supposedly was built by Charlie Chaplin or some...
Oh, I can't believe that's true. It's far too big for Charlie Chaplin. He was very small.
He was a very small man. But it's this huge, gorgeous building, and now Lord knows what goes on inside it.
Only the Dark Lords know what goes on there.
So you're at Sunset Boulevard. Okay.
And-
Morgan Freeman is assumed the identity of the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. And you are going as...
Chester Aaron. Now, Chester had a very strange few years. He was essentially raised in a boarding school. His father died at a young age. His mother was alcoholic. Both parents were big-time people in finance in New York City. And when Chester turned 17, his mother passed away when they were on very bad terms with one another. So within a year, he had an incredibly large inheritance and spent the next 3 years essentially partying, spending money, and doing nothing with his life.
So now you have the attention of this Church of Scientology and the attention of me.
And how are you dressed? Are you like wearing an admiral's cap and holding a martini?
And say it slow. Say it slow.
Pink polo button-down shirt,
Nice.
khakis, and some dress shoes that have left awful blisters on my feet because I thought it was a good idea to not wear socks that day.
That's all part of being 20.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You do leave the house in what I do go to bed in.
Yeah.
These are actually skinny sweatpants, for the record. Nike
do
dry fit.
You do tend to walk around in what I would call jams. Well, it's just as a weird aside. My wife was like, she couldn't get something to work on the computer. She's like, Dana. I'm like, what? Dana. Like, what? Dana. What? Come down here. Just angrily, I'm putting on my jams.
So we park at the Church of Scientology, and Morgan's first question was, do you think they validate parking? We never got an answer, and I'm sure he'll find out soon because it was his car. But so we go in and we're shown to the dioramas that are open for everyone. But this doesn't really satisfy anything.
And what are the dioramas of? I like Hollywood.
This acronym.
Is this something I want to go look at?
No.
No.
It's like the NHCC, which is their thing against psychiatry.
Right.
Some bits
Psychiatry kills.
Some bits about L. Ron Hubbard and his majestic crusade throughout the world until he realized that he was a chosen one who should invent a religion.
After he stopped writing science fiction books.
Pulp science fiction books.
Oh, okay.
And playing cards with Harlan Ellison, during which he would say, you know, somebody's going to invent a religion and make $1 billion. Over and over and over until he stopped showing up at the card games. Continue, Dave.
So there's really no point in thinking up this elaborate backstory and an awesome fake name like Chester Aaron if you're not going to actually go and talk to someone. So I request to see a priest. I'm then told that it's called a minister. This kind of helps purport the character I'm going for, which is really ignorant rich person. And I get brought to a minister who starts to give me a talk. I start telling him about my depression, my anxiety, my never-ending drug abuse, my...
all things that have color in your own life.
I haven't gotten to the character
You were.
yet, Dana.
Yeah, I was going to say. It is fair to say, troubled Ute.
And as you're listing all these things, he's just ringing them up on a cash register.
Well, it wasn't until I mentioned that I went through $600,000 one week gambling and buying drugs that I saw the dollar signs go off in his eyes. And at which point he questioned me as to how much my inheritance was worth, since both my parents were dead.
And asked you if you would like a Top Gun poster.
He told me he'd put me in line with Travolta if I wanted to make some more money.
He looked at your hands.
Have you ever seen
Soft fingers.
Have you ever seen the movie Blow Up? How do you feel about those words together and individually?
It's an instructional video, actually. It has nothing to do with that film.
Do you believe there's nothing more heterosexual than two straight men making love?
And so I was having a good time. I was really having fun sort of playing this character, talking about just all the awful things and how I would now wanted to put my money to some good use and get my life on the right track. And that's when he started asking for my phone number and my email address. And I'm sort of, looking for the Knight Rider ejection button right next to my chair.
That's all part of a fake persona, is just have those. My number is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
I had my cell phone out, though, and he said he would text me, so I had his number. So I made up a fake email and told him that based on my parents' troubles in the past, I was very wary of using cell phones and letting other people have my number.
Good. Now, at what point did he ever hook you up to an e-meter?
That's what Morgan was doing while I was in there with the minister.
Okay.
And Morgan was in there about 20 minutes longer than me. Now, granted, I started talking to a minister.
And is,
when
as
he
we
was still
speak,
there.
having a wristwatch removed from his lower GI.
The last time I saw Morgan before I left, he was drinking a very nice, fancy wine glass of water. At which point I start wondering, so when I'm out there an hour later and he still hasn't come out, do I call Dana or the police? who is my first call?
That is the thought of many people in this city on the average.
Because we can't leave Morgan Freeman in there.
Sure, you played God. And what was the, did they offer you any examples of what they could do for you?
I got a book on Dianetics.
And that was free, or you had to buy it?
That was free with the promise that I will be back Wednesday night at 6:30 for my appointment to go to one of the classes.
Okay.
Chester, unfortunately, was in an awful airplane/motorcycling accident, so he's dead now.
Yeah. Chester is wounded of a self-inflicted bow and arrow wound. I think I just said bow and arrow wound.
Died from a spontaneous cash explosion.
He died.
He choked on his money.
Yes, he had a botched fake personectomy. It's always tricky territory when you start making fun of someone's religion. People have been unfairly persecuted for their religion. The Romans fed Christians to the lions for spectator amusement. The Spanish Inquisition caused more than its share of physical discomfort, simply because of one small group's rather fanatical devotion to the Pope, as they say. Then there was Nazi Germany, and the little thing that rhymes with merled more moo. Oh, the list is endless. As you flip through recorded history, the biggest, most brutal conflicts usually trace back to religious differences. On a smaller, more pernicious scale, a lot of people, usually men, have used the good book as an excuse to do some very bad things. Which brings me to one of my favorite movies. See, it's all worth it. Night of the Hunter.
Dream, little one, dream. Dream, my little one, dream.
Made in 1955, Night of the Hunter was the first and only movie directed by actor Charles Laughton. And that's a shame because it's great. It's also the first movie I ever saw in a cemetery. More on that later. The film tells the story of Harry Powell, played to the hilt by Robert Mitchum, a religious fanatic and self-appointed preacher who supports himself by traveling the country, marrying widows, killing them, and taking their money.
Then the good Lord went on to say, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves."
But Powell is no con man. He devoutly believes that God is on his side. In the film, he sets his sights on recent widow Shelley Winters and her 2 orphan children. Their father, Van Harper, was recently hanged for killing a guard during a bank robbery, and Powell has figured out that the kids, and only the kids, not the mother, know where the money is. First, he has to seduce their mama, a whiny, sex-starved cracker played by Shelley Winters of the Poseidon Adventure fame, which he does by telling her the story of man, symbolized by his knuckles, which bear the tattoos hate, and on the other hand, love.
Ah, little lad, you're staring at my finger. Would you like me to tell you the little story of right hand, left hand? The story of good and evil? H-A-T-E. It was with this left hand that old brother Cain struck the blow that laid his brother low. L-O-V-E. You see these fingers, dear hearts? These fingers has veins that run straight to the soul of man. The right hand, friends, the hand of love.
She goes for it, and soon Harry has her in his web, manipulating and exploiting her guilt and limited mental firepower to get the information he needs from her infinitely smarter and more savvy children.
Well, John, the night before your father died, he told me what he did with that money. That money's at the bottom of the river, wrapped around a 12-pound cobblestone.
Thank you, Harry. I feel clean now. My whole body's just a-quivering with cleanness.
And unknowingly leading Shelley into the trap is my favorite character in the movie, a local busybody named Icy Spoon, whose attitudes towards sex are anything but enthusiastic.
She's mooning about Ben Harper. That wasn't love, that was just flapdoodle. Have some fudge lambs. When you've been married to a man 40 years, you know all that don't amount to a hill of beans. I've been married to my Walt that long, and I swear in all that time I just lie there thinking about my canning.
Spoiler alert, which is an odd thing to say about a movie that was released 57 years ago, but if you haven't seen it yet, you've been warned. Good old Shelley Winters ends up getting stabbed in the good old throat. And the second half of the film details Powell's murderous chase of the children downriver. It's a dark, creepy, scary, yet visually beautiful film, the perfect movie to see in a cemetery. One of the cooler things about living in Los Angeles is Cinespia, a program that, in the summer, shows classic movies against the wall of one of the larger mausoleums in the historic Hollywood Forever Cemetery. It's super cool, and the first movie I saw there was Night of the Hunter, on a date, with my wife and our first daughter when she was just a little peanut, all bundled up for a night out in the cemetery. It's actually a very fond memory. Last note in the Not Everything is for Everybody department. When the Cinespia program first started, I told one of my friends about it, saying they project movies against the wall of that giant mausoleum. It's like going to the drive-in without a car. My friend paused and said, actually, one of my best friends is in that mausoleum. I think I'll pass. Oops.
John, Pearl, come along here and get some fudge.
I don't want no fudge.
You do what you're told.
This has been the Dana Gould Hour, brought to you by the Internet. Music by Andy Paley, with Jake Posner behind the board. Engineering by Brent Butler. Internet junk by Spencer Hunt and Segan Friend. Sound editing, effects, and everything else by Jolinda Palmer. Hey, if you like the show, why don't you drop us a line at show@danagould.com. Tom Kenny speaking.
A Chewbacca-esque bandolier of cat heads.
Yeah.
That would get you laid.